deal with in the last 2 years, but we had a 10-year, 11-year career. So that was the end of it. That was after a lot of things. A lot of things weren't right at that point.
I love you and still love you. But there's a piece of that, your personality, that was really difficult to deal with growing up. And it got worse during the end, but from the very beginning, you know, I personally saw signs that made it difficult to come to you when there was conflict or when I had an issue.
I never ever knew that's how you felt. You didn't express it to me.
There's been times throughout our career that I have tried, and maybe I didn't articulate myself how I needed to. I'm not a professional in dealing with conflict. I hate conflict, that's not my thing.
When we finally split, I didn't want to talk to anybody. You know, I didn't consider anybody to be my friend because of the way that we split up. And even though I woke up and all of a sudden I had nothing apart from an 80 grand debt on my head or 100 grand, whatever it might have been at that time, I still believed that I could pay it off. So I set up a studio. Everything kind of turned a corner when my first child was born, and it was like, okay, you need to get serious now. And that's when I went gun-ho when it came to youth work. In order for you to gain interest, you just have to ask the right question. I worked my way up to senior youth worker, a qualified youth worker at that.
For Noel, despite the support of his wife Verity, things weren't quite so positive after the band's demise.
I had to go and sign on for a while, which was painful. It was back down to earth with a thump. I got a lifeline from my uncle, done little odd jobs, and I had to go back to grafting. I started mixing cement, laying bricks and carrying sand and stuff, and jeez. I couldn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. So I used to buy myself a little quarter of brandy, buy myself some weed, and just stay at home and drown my sorrows. And that's when Russ came in and said, come man, come to Youth Club. I went down and I instantly got a connection with the young people that he was working with. I have to big you up, if it wasn't for you, I would not be working with young people myself.
Yeah, I taught you everything you know.
Whatever.
They might be mates, but Russ is still well disgruntled about the band's whacking great debt after they left their record label.
Even though we walked away from this deal, EMI still cut us a check, but we reinvested that money to making this album and going on tour. Whilst we're doing all of that, we're just accumulating debts, you know, and these debts ran up to about £100,000. Lawyers, accountants, stylists, you name it, yeah, they were all wanting to get paid.
Russ had filed his name under the group's business partnership agreement, which sounds a bit boring, but basically means he was first in the firing line, and the band weren't communicating.
With Jade and yourself and even Corey, you know, why the hell weren't anybody paying the debts? Do you know what I'm saying? Why wasn't anybody answering the letters that was coming to their house? Do you know what I'm saying? So, and that's huge because I'm still paying that debt to this day.
I feel ya. That's why I have to take a big side because, yeah, I do feel ya. I hold my hands up to that because I was about burying my head in the sand.
As far as I was concerned, all of you lot were. I was ready to kung fu kick every one of you. You know, I was ready to do whatever I needed to do. I was going to bankrupt everybody. I'm not even joking.
Luckily for Russ, Andre also got involved in clearing the debt.
When did you do that for Daddy?
But some things are more important than money, and to both Russ and Noel, family comes first.
I'm absolutely doing this for my girls. My girls, they literally saved my life, you know, when me and my partner split up. And it was the hardest thing ever for me, as you know, you know, to the point where I was suicidal, you know what I mean? And if it wasn't for the girls, I really don't know if I would be here. Do you know what I mean?
Like I said, it is a focus. And you know, I'm here for you if you do need anything.
We're at this point. Is that what you're still holding on to?
Well, they're things that weren't dealt with.
Yeah, but...
They're things that weren't dealt with at the time.
So we want to go through the whole list of the things that I've done wrong.
No, but we also want you to point out things that we didn't deal with.
To be fair, I just think how you dealt with me wasn't right.
Okay, yeah.
When you did come to help me,
elaborate.
Something really deep happened to me. And you told me you goes cause that didn't happen, you didn't believe me.
You told me this where? On a motorway?
A long time, it was in a hotel room. Obviously you don't remember, but it was Something happened to me which changed my life. When I spoke to you, it was throbbed off, and I didn't want to tell anyone else.
Right, so we have, right here, before you go any further, we have a point where we're not going to be able to go any further, because I'm telling you, I don't remember you coming to me and telling me something significant happened and you needed help around it. So for you to sit here and tell me I fobbed it off, it's wrong, it's a lie, and I won't accept it.
So I've got to sit here and just say that I lied, I'm lying about it.
No, we've just got to agree to disagree.
Andre, it was a turning point of my life, which nearly brought me to death. If you don't remember, we have to disagree.
Yeah, I'm happy
then
to disagree.
Then we disagree to agree, but don't say, that's wrong and I'm lying, because that's saying I'm a liar about it.
No, I'm saying I don't remember this scenario.
Then that's better.
And do you know what you're doing?
You don't remember. I don't remember is better than saying, I don't remember, I would never do that, you're lying.
Corey,
that's quite a statement, you're saying that I'm lying.
Do me a favour.
And I won't have that neither, because
do me a favour.
I don't lie anymore.
Corey, do me a favour, please. When we're having this conversation, let's speak to each other as grown adults.
This is how I speak, Andre. I've never changed.
I don't like the vibe right now, so please, let's just be easy.
I think that's probably why I shouldn't have told you in the beginning, because we've never clicked as well as I've clicked with Jade, or as well as I felt I clicked with Noel.
Why didn't you bring it to me? Or
because
Noel?
at that stage after
You honestly think that that's in my personality? I'm that person that would take something serious.
I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
No, you honestly think that?
No.
Okay.
Because I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
When Corey left the band, his life began a downward spiral.
There was a very low point with the drugs. I mean, there was one point where I was actually kind of suicidal.
It's something he's never shared with his mum, Bev, until now.
I don't know where your darkest moment was, because...
I don't think I've ever told you that. I mean, I moved to Brighton for a bit to try and get away from London. Lowest point, I would say, was when I slept on the beach.
Oh, wow.
For 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Which you didn't know, but I didn't want to come back to London because obviously I was high all the time, and it's alright, man. But I'm here now, isn't it?
It's just the thought of where you were.
But because I could have came home, but...
I know, it's just the thought of where you were. You still worry. You know, it's just really difficult for all of us, you know.
You know, you're dealing with meeting dealers on the street, and then also you've got, like, you just pass someone who's like, can you sign my autograph? It's just like, oh, fuck, do you know where I'm on my way to?
Sadly for Corey, it wasn't long before he was on his way to somewhere even worse.
I got caught drink driving. I got sent down, I think done 12 weeks. That was really, really, really hard. I mean, I went to Scrubs prison, and I remember looking out the cell windows, and my school was right next door, and I'm thinking, how the hell did I get from there to here? As for the other boys, none of them wrote me when I was in prison, not one of them. Not one of them came to visit me, not one of them sent me a letter. I fought my way through, and I took going down so low to my advantage, because now I know exactly where that location is, and I ain't going back. I'm now in a position where I'm feeling really, really good, confident. I've got my partner, I've got my studio at home where I work from, and I'm just feeling like I'm on a good, steady rise instead of a slope. There's just more things in life that are more important than having a tiff with somebody about something. You should be brothers till the end.
Coming up, the atmosphere's so icy that the boys are trapped in a chat igloo.
Sitting opposite you guys, the way you look is quite intimidating. It's not nice.
This scenario was never going to be warming.
Blinkbox Music sponsors the big reunion.